Afternoon, everyone. In 2019, the Armenian National Committee of Australia launched the Ben Bagdikian Media Award, recognising those in media who had the most impact, raising awareness concerning matters important to Australian Armenians. Previous honorees include inaugural recipient Alan Jones in 2019 and James Robbins in 2020. The award is named in honour of Armenian genocide survivor Ben Bagdikian. Bagdikian, an Armenian-American journalist and university professor, was featured in Steven Spielberg's film The Post in 2017, recounting his time as assistant managing editor of The Washington Post, where excerpts of the Pentagon Papers were published. He exposed classified material regarding US involvement in the military campaign in Vietnam, despite strong opposition from the Nixon administration. Throughout his career, Bagdikian was hailed for his high ethical standards. Tonight, I am proud to announce the 2021 ANC-AU Ben Bagdikian Media Award recipient is Michael Brissenden, a former political editor, ABC radio host, and ABC TV current affairs Washington correspondent. In 2013, Brissenden spearheaded an insightful Four Corners investigation into the Turkish dictatorship's threats to ban outspoken Australian parliamentarians from visiting Gallipoli for Anzac commemorations in 2015. Mr. Brissenden's report highlighted many unique links between the Anzac history and the Armenian genocide, while simultaneously exposing the blistering Turkish state denialism policies in Australia and their attempts to rewrite history. Brissenden's investigation became a yardstick for how the Armenian genocide should be reported by the Australian media, and his career in pursuit of reporting the truth is a testament and inspiration to young aspiring journalists across Australia. Unfortunately, tonight Mr. Brissenden is unable to join our community, however has graciously accepted this award and provided a video message to our community on this occasion. His message is preceded by a snippet from his Ben Bagdikian award-winning report.
He announced to the public that we will not forgive those who are behind these decisions and that we do not want to see them in Çanakkale anymore.
So the Premier and members of the Parliament will not be welcome at the 2015 celebrations?
Well, I think one should read the press statement of our ministry carefully. So.
Well, the press statement says they won't be welcome, so one would assume that they won't be given the visas to go.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Michael Brissenden. I'm sorry I can't be with you in person tonight, but I certainly wish all of you gathered here and all the members of the Armenian National Committee of Australia all the best for the coming year. Here's hoping 2022 will at least be a little better than the few years that have preceded it. I am deeply honoured to have been awarded the Ben Bagdikian Media Award. As a journalist now for more than 35 years, it's always a great pleasure to know that sometimes our work can have an impact and can potentially do some good. The genocide of the Armenians, the death of the estimated 1.5 million people, and the trauma and dispossession of the many others who were evacuated from their homes and villages in April 2015 has, for the most part, been overshadowed here in Australia by our own history and mythology forged at the same time on the shores of Anzac Cove. But the truth is, the genocide was not ignored by the many Australians who were there in 1915, forging that Australian mythology. It was the remarkable genocide scholar, the late Colin Tatz, who first alerted me to the fact that these two significant historical events had occurred at the same time. The more I investigated this, the more extraordinary it seemed to me that Australians knew so much about what happened at Anzac Cove and so little about the tragedy that unfolded not that far away, even though many of the Australians captured by the Turks during the Gallipoli campaign were held in the villages that had only just been purged of their Armenian residents. There are many eyewitness accounts written by those POWs who returned to Australia, testimony that describes columns of Armenians being marched to certain death in the desert and dead bodies littering the side of the road. One POW wrote of seeing Turkish soldiers armed with whips driving women and children onto sheep trucks intended to transport them to some distant concentration camp. The Turkish government hopes that our now close relationship and the significance the Gallipoli campaign has to both our national identities will continue to be enough to prevent acknowledgement of this terrible event. But the hope is that our relationship will be mature enough, and if not, the federal government will eventually find enough courage to follow the lead of the New South Wales and South Australian state governments and many other national governments and formally recognise what happened to the Armenian people in 2015 as genocide. That would send an important signal to the world. I'm sure your work to convince them will continue, and I wish you all the success. Thanks again for this recognition, and I'd like to dedicate the award to the late Professor Colin Tatz. Thank you.